Hey everyone, Brendan Snyder here. How are you? Thanks so much for joining me and welcome to another episode of New Music Finds. This is where I like to collect together all the different things that I've picked up over the past week, and I got a bunch of cool stuff here for you guys. I got 14 things to run through with you and even a little bit of extra stuff on the side. But a lot of cool stuff from different places this past week, going to record stores, getting stuff sent to me, things arriving in the mail. So a lot of cool things to cover. We're going to dive into it here in just a bit. But before we do, if you're new to my channel and haven't already hit the subscribe button, please do. Also leave a comment, hit like. All those things do help support my channel, so I'd greatly appreciate it. And of course, as an added bonus, by turning on notifications, you'll never miss an episode. And you'll stay up to date on cool things like this with New Music Finds, where I'm hoping to turn you guys onto some new stuff, or maybe even just review some stuff that's out that helps you decide if you want to get it. So let's start with one of the very cool things that came out. Led Zeppelin live EP, 4 tracks, first to 1975, second to 1979, Nebworth. The disc, I want to say, is like 35 minutes in length, even though it is considered a 4-song EP, even says live EP. This is an album length. I think the brand new Bryan Adams isn't even 35 minutes. So, I don't know. This is an album to me. It's well worth it. The 4 tracks are long and there's jams and they're good and it sounds great. And I'm also thinking, hey, all of the songs off of Physical Graffiti were probably played live at one time or another, or maybe even a single album's worth, not every track, but you could still put it and sequence it in the order and release it like that. I'm kind of thinking, why didn't they just release a live album of all the Physical Graffiti songs that have been performed live, as opposed to just this EP? But if this is the start of something new, releasing some stuff like this that have never been released on physical CD or vinyl, they were available via the DVD, the self-titled Led Zeppelin live album that came out. I think it was in 2003, but that's really good stuff. All right, so next up is one that I really enjoyed. You guys hopefully have seen the review on it. If not, I'm going to leave a link in the description. But the brand new Foreigner 4 box set, 5 discs. It does not have a remastered album. It has a remix of the album. And it's very, very close to the original. It's subtly brighter. It has more, the instrumentation has some more room to breathe. It's a little cleaner, a little crisper. But about outside of that, I couldn't really tell much difference between it. The second disc has 4 outtakes, including the brand new song, Fool If You Love Him. It was an old song that had 1 verse on it. They brought Lou Gramm back. He wrote 2 new and sung those 2 verses. And the rest of the guys in the current lineup went in and added some new piano, organ, guitar, background vocals to finish the track. So it's like a new old song. Kind of very cool. There's a disc worth of instrumental mixes, and there's a live disc from 3 different shows spanning over a year's time, from 81 to 82 actually. Great box set though, so definitely recommend that. I broke down and bought this, even though I said I absolutely wasn't going to do it, but I am such a diehard Crue fan. I went ahead and bought the Motley Crue from the beginning, the new singles collection, even though I actually absolutely despise this thing. I got to have it for the collection, and I did. I listened to it from start to finish, and I enjoyed every minute of it, but there's some stuff on here that aren't on other compilations. So they add in like Saints of Los Angeles, The Dirt from the movie, Dogs of War from the new canceled EP, and then Home Sweet Home with Dolly Parton. And I got to talk about this because when that song first dropped, I listened to a version of it where Dolly Parton was only singing on the chorus or the refrain, whatever they call that part with Home Sweet Home. And it was kind of in the background and it was added, it was nice, but it didn't really change much. The version on here is entirely different. She lead vocal sings with Vince Neil on the first verse. She takes the entire second verse and then she's yodeling across the chorus or the refrain in here. I mean, Dolly is all the fuck over this thing. So I don't know what I heard. I'm really curious if there are two versions of the song, like one they gave to rock radio and one they gave to country radio or something. Um, so I will say that, hey, if you're a fan of this, there is this really different version of Home Sweet Home tacked on the end with Dolly Parton. I'm not a fan of it at all, though. It's even worse than what I thought it was going to be. It's not a bad song, don't get me wrong, and Dolly sounds great. I'm just not into the mix of country and hard rock. Um, and there's a few other things, like there is Take Me to the Top on here that I don't even know if it was an actual single, but you go live wire, Take Me to the Top. Take Me to the Top is a great track. But then you've got Shout at the Devil. That was not a single. But then you get Looks That Kill and Too Young to Fall in Love. Both of those songs were singles. So I don't know. It's a little weird. And of course, they skip over a big period of time from 1994 to 2000, I think it is. So they skip the self-titled album Generation Swine and New Tattoo. Although a couple Generation Swine songs, I believe, I don't know if anything from the other two albums, does appear on the vinyl. The vinyl is a bit longer and could fit a couple extra tracks, I think 2 more. They're not on the CD, and again, that bums me out. One more thing, there's no booklet, and when you pull out what the CD is in, there's absolutely no information. It does not tell you anything about the tracks. It does not even mention who is in the band, and of course, there's no mention, there's nothing of John 5. So this is kind of a weird collection, and it's with their new record label, Big Machine. Remember, Motley Crue sold all its rights to its music, so while they may still be in control of their image and who they are and what's coming out, because I know they are working with the label, somebody else actually has the final say on all this sort of stuff, so it's kind of strange. All right. Another new release that came out that actually caught me off guard that I'm really enjoying is Spinal Tap, The End Continues. I didn't think I would really enjoy this, and I genuinely love listening to it. It's good. I mean, it's actually good music, don't get me wrong. The first album, I don't know. I can't really do a whole lot of. It was from the original movie, but then they did Break Like the Wind in a glam metal style, and I loved that album at the time. Then they did Back from the Dead, which was actually a lot of re-recordings, and that was pretty good, except I didn't like all the that they had just done re-recordings. Whereas this, I think, has 8 or 9 new songs and 4 re-recordings, and the 4 re-recordings have guest vocals from like Elton John, Paul McCartney, Garth Brooks, Trisha Yearwood. There's actually 2 with Elton John. And the 4 that are re-recorded, there's a reason for them to be re-recorded with those guest vocals. And I kind of wish they put the re-recorded ones at the end and just did the new album proper. But it's mixed in. Either way, it's a good listen. If that goes up for a Grammy, it's going to be nominated as a comedy album, which is what's crazy because, yeah, it's a bit tongue-in-cheek and parody of the kind of lyrics that you get from Black Sabbath and other metal bands out of the 70s or the 80s, but it's still really good stuff. This one came out the week before, but I finally got a copy, and I wasn't able to get it through ordering because I don't know what's going on with Frontiers and being able to get their albums into the US through all the new changes that have happened with shipping and taxes and whatnot. But I got this through Anthony, so his distribution company finally got copies, and they came in, Glenn Hughes, Chosen. And the first 2 singles didn't do a darn thing for me. I was not into them. It was kind of like, it's okay, it's fine, it's whatever, it's Glenn Hughes. And I didn't have much excitement, and I got it, and my God, this thing is great. Voice in My Head kicks this thing off. It is awesome. Can't read his handwriting on the back of this for what some of these songs are. I think it's My Alibi. But Chosen is track number 3. And I was listening to the album, and all of a sudden I was like, what is this song? And I looked over and saw that it was Chosen, and I realized it perked my ears up that I did like it. So I don't know why I didn't care for it as a single. Just as a standalone track, it seemed a little odd to me. But it's a great album. So if you can get your hands on that, I do recommend it. And this one I was only able to get through the mail, but the brand new Babylon AD, When the World Stops. I did a little mini review, 1-minute review that I do in my shorts sometimes, and I absolutely enjoying this. It's only been 1 year on since their last album, Rome Wasn't Built in a Day. So glad that they're doing this. You got to go to Records to order a copy of it if you want it. It's a really good price. Came with a sticker, came with a button. It's a little extra merch with it as well. This one I forgot to talk about on what just dropped, even though I had it on order and it was in my list. I guess I never wrote it up and put it into my music news for you guys, which is why it didn't get copied out and put into the episode that becomes what just dropped when I'm gathering all that up. And I apologize, but Hags, you guys remember them from 1989? They had I think it was a self-titled album. And so this is actually from 1986 when they were a trio. And these three guys were still part of the band when they added in another guitar player and whoever else they added. But we have Ron Yacombe. I don't know if I'm saying his name right. He was the vocalist, and he's playing guitar at this point. And then we have Chris, and I'm never going to get his last name right, Schlagshart, I don't know, but he's the bassist, and Greg Langston on drums. So the front man was playing the guitar and singing at this time. So it's a little more raw and less of what it became, but it is purely the Hags. It's live in a studio. So there is an audience that was invited and it was properly recorded, but there's an audience in the background of it. It's very interesting, well done, with a ton of these songs never appearing on that final album. I think a couple of them did. I recognize Doghouse as one of those, but there's 10 tracks on here, a lot of stuff that never made it out. So if you basically want a second Hags album, this is it. Go check this out, called Dead and Gone. You can get it off of Amazon. I'm sure there's other places. And then the reason I'm wearing this cool autograph shirt that's got this on the front and it's got it on the sleeves, and if I can turn my back around real quick, you can see the back, hopefully. I don't know because I'm not looking at the camera. But a very cool shirt like this is that Autograph dropped 2 archival albums. They're headed up by Steve Lynch. He orchestrated and put these together, the guitar player, and they're done through F&A Records. And F&A Records was nice enough to send these to me. I did an unboxing that posted on Sunday, so you should check that out for sure. But this one here is called Send Her to Me, which has earlier demos, and then Cloud 10, which has some later demos on it. The booklets have the same bio, but different photos and some different added commentary. One of these has an in memoriam to the 3 members that have passed away out of the 5 guys. There's only Steve Lynch, the guitar player, and Steve Plunkett, the singer. And unfortunately, they're not working together as Autograph. And another one has like favorite concert dates, but there is a track-by-track run-through of all the songs to get a little bit more history about when they recorded and stuff like that. So these are great. F&A Records, highly recommended. Cloud 10 sounds the best. A lot of the ones on Send Her to Me were demos that were done before they were signed. I don't know if it was 83. I don't know if there was anything that was later, but a lot of these are those earlier ones. So for 1983, they're good demos, but obviously the sound is not quite the quality of future stuff. So if you're a real sound guy, get Cloud 10, but if you just want some great stuff, both of these are well recommended. I was enjoying them thoroughly when they came to me. So on that note, regarding the shirt, there's this like larger pack that you can order, and you get various stuff added in depending upon how much you want to pay. If you want a poster, you want a bag, you want a whatever. So a shot glass came in this bag. I'm going to show you the bag at the end. Coolie, I think they call it, right? And you put your beer. Gotta open this thing up. There you go. Put your beer in it. Autograph sticker. Another one. And we just get some of the logo ones like that. So 4 stickers. Couple buttons. And if we can kind of show it there, some 4 guitar picks as well. The lanyard, which I actually missed in the original unboxing, I had put it aside and then forgot to pick it up. If you waited all the way to the end of the video, you saw me pull this out, show you guys. But this is the coolest part, man. An autographed photo of Steve Lynch, and it's a real autograph. It's you kind of hold it and tilt it just right. You can see the indentation and the pen ink used on it. So that was a very, very cool thing. And it all comes in this bag, including the CDs. So if you want to carry something around, you got that, which is great. I may use that now for things as an architect. I carry around samples with me when I go to job sites or to meet with clients. So sometimes I have stone or wood or, some other glass material that I need to show them what it looks like. I always need a bag. So I've been using a tool bag, meaning the band tool, but this one here could certainly become that. That would be great. And another thing that F&A Records sent me was this awesome autographed Salty Dog number 77 of 100. If I get that right, I'm actually doing that off memory, but it's got the certification right there. And this is their second album, long lost album, where I believe it's this guy. I could be wrong. They got a different singer in. Jimmy Beach, I want to say is his name. I'm going to pull this out and see if I can find his name real quick for you guys. Let's see, vocals. Oh, sorry, Daryl Beach, and I don't know if I'm saying it right. I think it's like B-S-B-E-A. Oh, no, it's Beach. My eyes are going. I apologize, guys. I always mean to grab my glasses before I start these with you guys. I mean, like 2 years ago, not a problem. Now all of a sudden, I can't see anything. Age sucks. But anyways, I'm sorry. This is the long lost second album where they got a different singer in and they still recorded an entire album. And F&A Records is actually reissuing it with 3 bonus tracks that were not on the version that you could get from the website. So they sent this version to me and I cannot wait to check out those 3 extra tracks on it. And then I had done or bought some stuff from Sound Exchange, and it was some cool retro stuff out of the 80s and maybe the very early 90s, some Japanese pressings of stuff. And I got turned on to a band called 220 Volt. And this is a music on CD reissue of one of their albums. It was the only one that I could actually order easily from like Amazon. I'm gonna have to track down some other stuff through like eBay, Discogs, or whatever. But this one here, Mind Over Muscle is the title of it. And it's just great 80s metal sounding stuff. You want some shred guitar, that is good stuff. Turns out that I did not have Knights of the New Thunder album, and this is the original album cover that was like banned, and then you probably know it from the big blue one that has the logo and everything on it. So this is the first album with Tony Harnell, which I guess I just didn't really know my TNT history because I didn't think he sang on this because his name on here is Tony Hansen, not Harnell. And I don't know if that's actually original or just a mistake, but that's the name on here. I thought it was a different guy and found out, no, in fact, this is Tony Harnell. And I gotta say, this album is great. Now the first album, because this is the second by TNT, has Norwegian lyrics. It is not in English. Maybe like 1 or 2 of the songs were, but that is their native language where they changed to English for this, and that's why I don't own the first one. I'm not really interested in that one. I can't understand it. But I was on a really big TNT kick, having pulled out like My Religion, and I forget the album that came out after it, something, The Sun, All the Way to the Sun, I can't remember, but I was just loving those. And I knew there was this EP, Japanese EP called Taste. And it has some of the tracks that appeared on My Religion, but it's got a bunch that didn't. And this Japanese one has a bonus from what would eventually get released as the EP called Give Me a Sign of 5 tracks. This one has 6 tracks on it. And the extra one, Magic Little Nightmare. I haven't opened it yet. I just got it, but I'm going to crack into it very soon. Last but not least, the previous 2 weeks, I had Pretty Things albums. I got this one 2 weeks back when I was doing a run out to Jack's music shop. And then I ordered this one and that came the week later and I was loving this. And by the way, I think it's this. So I'm going to double check real quick. Yes. So this one has Jack Green on guitar. Let me find his picture. And I recently discovered Jack Green through Bad Reputation Records. And they sent me some Jack Green and I went nuts for it and bought the 3 albums that I could get of his. I think I have 4 total now. But I had read, I was like, who is this guy? That he was part of the band Pretty Things and he did this album. So that was awesome. And I wasn't trying to do that. And I'd actually even forgotten that he was part of it. I was just enjoying this album. So I bought this one, found out that, oh, that's the one he was on. And then a lot of you guys said I should get Silk Torpedo, which I already had on order. And I do love when these albums open and create like gatefolds like that. But out of all of these, I think I still like these two the best. But Sook Torpedo was added in to the collection over this last round. So I think that was 14 things I said that I had gotten. And I'm not even counting all the goodies that came out of that bag and the shirt and whatnot, but 14 CD items. And I hope you've enjoyed that. Maybe some of this cool stuff was explained well enough for you to know whether or not you want to go get it. Those two autograph albums from F&A Records are all demos. Some has been released before, but most of this is unreleased, and most of it different than Missing Pieces that came out later on. That was a Steve Plunkett release. These are a Steve Lynch release. Two different guys from the same band. In fact, hey, there's Steve Lynch right there. All right, everyone. Take care. Have a good one. And I'll talk to you next time with all the great music finds for next week. Bye, everyone.